Ooh, I saw that on the one video. The video of the. Did everyone get a hold of you about the people message you yet?
I think everybody did. I haven't. No, I'm missing one person.
Is it Travis Bach?
Nope.
Okay, because that's the one guy I know. I was gonna message him if he didn't.
Oh, you know him?
Oh, I mean, I know him. I met him. I hung out with him at Genre Blast. He's friends with the
we're live right now, just so you know. Don't say anything bad about anybody.
No. He's friends with he's part of the Shoe So Pretty crew.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure that's him.
I don't know.
But he was commenting back and forth something on Facebook to me, and I was gonna mention about the thing, but
yeah, I'm gonna go. Let me go look into Messenger or the Facebook Messenger for the page to see if I think everybody got back to me.
All right, so we got people watching. I am going live with the first trailer on Facebook. The first trailer that is playing is Hereditary.
I love that movie.
That was a good one, right?
I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I'm missing one person.
Who is that?
I have to go back and look. But my last 4 messages on here were from the winners. That's why I didn't unpin the video yet from the page. Let's see here. I thought I didn't unpin it. Brian, did you unpin the video?
I did not unpin the video. I haven't touched anything on the site because I am so sorry for being MIA.
It's okay because I think I'm going to take everybody but myself off of the Facebook page.
Okay.
Because Jenny is posting stuff and not getting it authorized.
Oh no! Has she been doing that?
Yep. So let's see. Craig B. Krause, Travis, Brian Turner's the only one that hasn't. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I could message the person, because I have access to their Facebook page, and like seeing their Facebook page through the contest. Do you think I should just do that, or?
Yeah, I will. Otherwise, you're gonna be sitting on the damn thing. I hate when people do that.
I'm gonna reach out. He's friends with Lonnie, one of our viewers.
Yeah, Lonnie Reimer.
Reimer, yeah. I'll reach. He's the only mutual friend. So I'll reach out to Lonnie and see if Lonnie knows him and go from there. It's no big deal. Yep, I was gonna go mail him out today, but Reynolds got sick. So
is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He just had a fever, had to stay home from school, so I didn't get to yesterday and today actually, and so I didn't get to. I just got a message saying my Bluetooth is playing through the speakers. So, out there, sorry.
What?
So we were listening to music before the show out there, waiting to get everything started, and I had my phone. So I had my phone on the Bluetooth out there on my soundbar, and I had our show playing, and apparently it scared Caitlin and my daughter. So that's pretty funny. The Hereditary trailer was playing through the speaker. That was it. They couldn't see anything. They just saw that.
Love it.
Yeah. So we're getting mentioned by Trauma the Clown and Snickle Fritz. Can't say their names out loud because they have an appearance to keep up with.
Snickle Fritz from What's for Dinner?
I don't know. It's Facebook pages. They're mentioning us, giving us a shout out. It's pretty nice. Yeah, I don't know. Nicolas Cage gives a performance of a lifetime? Really? I don't think so. It was okay. I think Bill Duke gave the performance of a lifetime. It's weird. So I'm watching Shudder. I watched on Shudder, and I paused it at one point, and it said 5 hours and 22 minutes remaining. I'm like, what? And there's a podcast that I watched. It was the same thing, 5 hours remaining. I'm like, I want to know how long this podcast is.
Well, with Mandy, maybe Shudder started putting in, like, they started doing the math and adjusting how long a movie feels.
Yeah. Yeah, that first half, it was actually brutal to sit through the first half of that movie. Then things picked up in the second half, but it's like, whatever. It just wasn't for me. It's certainly no Candyman.
So Brian bought the DVD and not the Blu-ray of Candyman.
I saw that on Facebook the other day, and I just shook my head.
I just watched one of the commentaries, one of the 4 commentaries on the Blu-ray, and it was really good.
Which one?
The one that has Clive Barker on it. There's it just keeps cutting around to them. I don't like commentaries that do that, but it was interesting to hear them talk about it. I really feel like those commentaries are going to overlap like hardcore.
Probably.
I'm going to watch like one more of them. I can't imagine they have any new information to talk about. Like, that's fucking crazy. It's like Bernard Rose on all of them. Like, I love you, dude, but I don't 4 commentary tracks in a row love you.
Dude, I never saw the sequels. Do they tie in with the first movie or nah?
Yeah, the second one does. The third one's a piece of shit. Not that the second one's great, but...
Well, Tony Todd denounces the third one. He likes the second one.
Yeah, the third one is just a shitty slasher movie. The second one has cool moments. Like, it's not a great movie, but it's not awful.
I like it.
What the deal with the kingfish is. I thought that was really stupid. They even said in the commentary, they're like, yeah, that was a really dumb thing that we did. We shouldn't have done that. The radio host guy or whatever that just randomly keeps popping up.
Yeah, I like the second one, but it's definitely I still want to see what Bernard Rose's vision would be for the second one, since he didn't get to do it.
Yeah, he's talking about it a little bit on the commentary about how Helen was going to be the person.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear about the original ending that they shot where she goes through the crack in the wall and she's like in a giant beehive with like 1,000 bees on her face, and then she opens her eyes?
No.
They filmed that apparently, but I don't know if it's on the Blu-ray or not. I really want to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. That'd be cool. It's not on the Blu-ray, I don't think.
It was really
right. Here comes our intro.
Did you play the Dark Military trailer or something?
No, I played Suspiria, Hereditary, and Mandy. I thought they were probably the most popular horror movies besides Halloween this year.
I don't know. So, see, I think Suspiria was harder to get the chance to see. That's why I didn't put it on the poll.
Yeah.
I might see The House That Jack Built on Sunday. They're playing it in my town at the Art House Theater.
All right, here we go. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to joining us here live tonight at THS Lives. This will be our season finale episode, and we have a great show for you tonight. We are discussing the best and the worst horror movies of 2018, and of course, we're going to mention indie movies as well, and honorable mention movies. The movies that all the indie movies that we are mentioning in 2018 are the ones that have been distroed, whether it be on video on demand or disc. So let's get into it. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook at Brian Enright or Instagram at The Horror Jew. Up next, Jared will be joining us later, but up next we have award-winning director Mike Lombardo. Mike, give me a second real quick, and go ahead.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Mike Lombardo. You can find me at www.realsplatter.com, facebook.com/realsplatter. This is real with 2 E's, of course. And most importantly, at www.screamteamreleasing.com, where you can get your copy from Dreaming of White Doomsday. Back to you, Brian.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. And, of course, we have the president of the Horror Syndicate, Ray Zor. Ray, good evening.
Hey, everybody. You can follow me on Instagram, RayZor33. And I love indie horror. That's all.
That's an awesome hat. Where can you get that?
You can get that at poolpartymassacre.com.
All right. Cool. All right, so let's get into it. We had an abundance of movies this year. Vogue magazine said that this was the worst year of horror. Well, fuck their opinion, because here at the Horror Syndicate and a lot of other horror websites, we thought that this has been one of the better years for horror, with such titles as Hereditary, Mandy, of course, the ultimate cult movie of the year. It would have to be Terrifier, where starring David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, which has been breaking the waves of the internet since the movie came out. Terrifier came out earlier this year. So we'll get into all of that a little bit later. Right now, we're just going to jump into what we thought here at the Horror Syndicate was the best. Actually, no, let's go into it. What was the worst horror movies of 2018? And those who are joining us on Facebook Live, please feel free to comment below in that section. Post your worst horror movies as we now turn this into a spoilers segment of the show, where we will be discussing spoilers. That's right. So you hear us talking about a name of a movie that you have not seen, just stop watching it and come back when you've seen the movie. So let's get into it. The worst horror movie of 2018.
I think Slender Man and Winchester were two of the worst. I didn't see either one. So out of the ones I saw, I guess Hellraiser Judgment, even though I liked it. Mm-hmm. The Summer of '84, I don't believe is a horror movie, and Annihilation, I didn't think was a horror movie either. Going off your list here, Brian.
The magical list that I put together.
Yeah, I mean, you got like 30. There's like 30 movies here, literally. I didn't mind the new Insidious movie. I know Lombardo doesn't like that stuff. Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox, I like that. Cam was really good. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, but Cam was
really good.
Again, I don't know if it's a horror movie, but it was really good. It was oh man, it was like a Black Mirror episode. Mm-hmm. Ron Buchanan told me to check that one out, so I did. I think the best one was probably Hereditary, though, out of all that whole list. I liked Halloween, of course, and Halloween won our poll that we put up today, but I think Hereditary was probably the best. I've got to see what came in second, so I'm curious.
Yeah, on Facebook land, we have a couple comments so far. Doodles the Clown said that Halloween sucked, and he said it was not scary at all.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, horror movies. Hereditary, it was supposedly really scary. I didn't find it scary, but I believe it was a really good movie. Mm-hmm. I don't think very many horror movies are even scary anymore, honestly.
I liked Hereditary. I almost didn't go to see it because so many people told me to, and that's usually means I'm probably not going to like something. But I liked it. I thought that it had some pacing issues, and the family dynamic didn't really change after the. We're talking spoilers now, right?
Yeah, spoilers.
Okay, spoiler alert: when the little girl dies, the family didn't get any more fucked up and horrible to each other. They just acted the exact same, and that really annoyed me. So that was kind of a bummer. But then
I don't know. There was a dinner table fight where, it felt like. Sorry to cut you off, but it felt like they were like it was boiling up, and then the mom and the son just went at it at the dinner table, and
it's true, but they were so fucking dysfunctional before that it wasn't really. They needed more escalation, and then when it went crazy at the end is when I actually liked the movie a lot. But it was pretty much just like Rosemary's Baby. Like it was nothing new. Like everything was pretty stock standard. Horror stuff was just done, and it was much more like David Lynch-esque than I was expecting, but it was cool. I liked it. I'll tell you a movie, this is not going to be very popular right now, but I'm going to be totally honest because we're going to be off the air for a little bit, so it'll cool down, but I'll tell you, I hated Terrifier. I hated it. I fucking despised every fucking minute of that movie. That movie was trash.
It's okay to say that. You're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, I think that I do not remember the guy's name who played the clown. I know he was a really, really, really good in that role. Like he did a great job, and that was the
David Howard Thornton, I believe is his name.
He was the only thing that kept me watching that fucking pile of shit because that movie has no plot. It's just a series of shock set pieces. It's not even a movie. The plot is a guy dressed as a clown arbitrarily kills some people that went into a pizza shop. By the point when he wrote his name on the wall and shit, I'm like, well, I know what to expect. Like loose threads and random coincidences that's not a movie. It's not a narrative. I hated it.
Well, would you write your rating review of Terrifier on the wall and shit if you could?
I wouldn't even bother. I don't understand what everyone likes about it so much. I mean, the performance was great. The effects is great. The whole movie was an effects demo reel. That's the problem with it. It's like they kill the main character 3/4 of the way through, and then it's just another chick takes her place. And I'm like, the fact that you can swap out your lead interchangeably is a sign that you don't have a fucking script.
Well, one would argue that the great Alfred Hitchcock did the same thing.
Wrote his name on the wall in feces?
Absolutely. No, but like, he killed Janet Leigh off in Psycho when you thought she was the lead. Maybe we were meant to think the other one was the lead.
Yeah, but that was to subvert the audience expectations. Like, that was still earlier in the movie. In Terrifier, it was just like, well, we ran out of people to kill. We have to kill her and then bring in a couple more people. And
just for the record, I am comparing the director of Terrifier to Alfred Hitchcock. No,
I mean, nothing against the people that made the movie. Like I said, I believe the director did the effects work as well, and the effects were phenomenal.
Yeah,
but yeah, they were.
And the acting was really good with the guy that played the clown. But he had his MO made no sense. He like creates like a bunch of like medieval torture weapons.
Mm-hmm. He didn't have an MO. That's the thing, Mike.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like it wasn't even like I couldn't even get excited about like the slasher mythos or anything. It was just a series of, hey, wouldn't it be fucked up if, and then they just filmed it and then strung it together.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I think the Terrifier, what it does is bring an iconic look to a slasher. Like people have been wanting a new slasher villain, and I think that's why it's so popular. Honestly.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. I mean, like, when we had David on, I know I was a little buzzed when we were talking to him, but I pointed out that one of the things that didn't work was the plot of the movie itself, and that it wasn't a good movie, but the fact that you could have just threw any kind of plot together as long as you had a strong performance from David Howard Thornton, and he made that performance his, and that's why he's generated such a cult following because of his performance. So I think that's
I understand why people like him. Like the character is cool.
Yeah.
The movie, I don't know. It was just there was nothing there. I was like, I was so bored. I'm like waiting. It's like 30 minutes in, they're just sitting at the restaurant, like eating, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Hey, they got some good memes out of it. Art the Clown sitting in a restaurant, smiling. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm sorry you didn't like Terrifier though.
No, I'm just, like I said, I'm not one to generally,
I kind of agree with Mike. When I watched it, I did say what was so special about this. It was all right. Some of the kills were good. When he picked up the gun, that took me right out of the thing. I think David he did a great job as Art and his miming and everything. But they kind of played on a scene from what's it called, Silence of the Lambs, a little bit, where he puts on he dances around and doesn't he have his dick between his legs or something like that?
He does, yeah.
And like that scene was really cool, but what the fuck does that have to do with any of the other scenes in the movie? Like nothing he did had any consistency to it. It didn't feel like.
Well, I mean,
like you watch a Friday the 13th movie, Jason has a particular style. Freddy Krueger's got a particular style. Leatherface is not really a slasher villain, but I'm just going to put him in there anyway. They all have a cohesiveness to them.
Yeah.
It felt like 9 different movies that they just took one scene out of each of them and just splashed them together. And that really annoyed me a lot. Like, else the movie was just so fucking mean. Like, I just don't see the point of it. It's like, I mean, if I was like 14, I would have gotten much more of a kick out of it, I guess. But
I agree with that 100%.
It just annoyed me, and I'm like, I require more out of a movie than this at this point in my life. And
I need more depression out of my movie.
Hey, Jared. Thanks for joining us, Jared.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Jared.
Hey, Jared, where can we find you at?
You guys can follow me on Facebook at Jared Laterno or on Twitter at @zombie_survivor.
Awesome. Right now, we were just talking about our opinions for the worst horror movies of 2018. Mike Lombardo just mentioned Terrifier. We've been talking about that for a little. Before we get into that, we have a couple of comments from Facebook land. Brian White, a writer, one of our writers for the Horror Syndicate, said Slender Man was a clusterfuck. It was awful. And he says that Terrifier was awesome. And Joe Ridgely said he enjoyed Terrifier as well. And Randy Rock says, hey, guys. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Lauren Lepre, director of the Dark Military, whose movie we'll mention a little bit later. He's joining us tonight as well. Hopefully we can get a bunch of indie guys that we covered throughout the year to watch the show and give us a little feedback as well. So I'm excited.
I effectively nuked that. But I'm going to counter it by saying one of the other movies, the worst movie of the year that I saw, is a mainstream movie, and that is Overlord. I fucking hated that movie. Really? Absolutely.
Why? I heard it was good.
I also heard it was good. Then I watched it, and I was like, boy, I'm so glad that J.J. Abrams played Wolfenstein once. And then said, hey, you know what we need? A movie about Nazis doing bizarre human experiments and, like, making a horror movie out of it. And I'm like, boy, that didn't happen with Frankenstein's Army. Or
was it like Frankenstein's Army a little bit?
If you cut all the cool shit out of it, then yes, absolutely. So the horror part of it encompasses about 23 minutes of that movie. It's just it's a stock generic World War II movie that's super, like, whitewashed. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no swastikas in it. They try so hard to be as unoffensive as possible, but you're making a movie about fucking Nazis. Like, let them be villains. Nazis are scum. That's okay. They're bad.
We don't need to see Uwe Boll's blood rain again, right?
Yeah. Well, it just annoyed me. It's like, come on, like, you know, they tried so hard not to offend anybody, and I'm like, I get why, you know, they don't want to splash swastikas and racism all over the movie. Because the main character is a black man. The Nazis have nothing to say to him that's even slightly rude. It's like, come on. I mean, not that I want my movies to be filled with hate symbols and racism, but if you're going to make a movie about Nazis, then make a fucking movie about Nazis. Like, if you make them, like, spewing out shit, like, about his impure bloodline, all that crap, it's great. I'll hate them even worse. So I'll cheer when they get killed. Mm-hmm. But instead, it's just this really anemic action movie, and then it turns into a Marvel fight, and it's like superhero battling each other with invincibility serum. It's like fucking stupid.
I hear you.
Russell's fun was great though. He was really good.
I hear you. I know what with the horror movies that came out, I only strive to see the ones that I thought would be good. So I avoid movies like The Nun, which I heard right off the bat was just not an entertaining movie. I avoided Slender Man at all costs because that trailer that came out was atrocious.
Hold on one second. Brian, if you're still watching, I want you to review that. He said it was terrible.
Yes, please, Brian White, review it. You know, I didn't surround myself with movies I thought would suck. Like, I avoided Truth or Dare, even though Blumhouse has been doing a really fascinating job with their movies that they've been releasing. You know, I think that, you know, I don't want to go into the indie movies that I thought were the worst because I've seen a bunch of indie movies and not a lot of mainstream movies. I mean, if you guys are okay with me saying what was the worst indie movie this year, I mean, I'll say it, but I don't want to, like, you know, hurt the reputation of people who are making these movies. So I don't know if I've seen any bad horror movies, so popular wise. I think my least favorite would probably be you know what? Not even. I enjoyed Cam. I thought Cam was a pretty cool horror movie, even though, like, it really didn't have a direction to where it was going. It was just a girl on the webcam, and her account gets hacked by, like, some type of virtuality, like, yeah, doppelganger. And I thought it was cool. I didn't think it was scary. I thought it was really interesting that they tackled you know, cam models, and they really tackled it well, like how, like, you know, they have, like, sugar daddies and stuff like people paying them to like live, and they don't mention anything about paying taxes or anything. I know that a lot of chads and incels were upset that cam models were not paying taxes, but shit happens. But it was really cool. It covered like the general basis of cam modeling and stuff that you don't see, especially with them competing against each other. The cam models for like more views and you get more money, and they live like this privileged lifestyle where they can afford to have fancy things like their own homes. Being in 2018, and if you have all these like what you call millennial cam models, and they own their own homes, own different types of cars, multiple cars, and they make this money through their sugar daddies. So that was a pretty cool concept. It was nice to see that. I would probably say that was probably my least favorite mainstream popular movie that I've seen. And then I would probably be along holding hands with Mike Lombardo over there with Terrifier, just because the movie really didn't go anywhere. Art the Clown was fantastic, though, but the movie itself.
Well, can we just address the elephant in the room? Like, I know I'm on a streak here, really shitting on things. Not you, Jared. I love you. Let's talk about the colossal disappointment of the Meg. What a missed opportunity that was.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but just looking at the previews, it looked like a big budget sci-fi film.
I know, and it could have been wonderful. It could have been super violent and fun. And, they made a movie about a giant shark that fucking bored me. What the hell is that? All it needed to do was eat people and I would have been entertained. But instead, it takes itself so fucking seriously with Jason Statham and just, it was terrible. All the cool shit happened, like the entire trailer is the last 10 minutes of the fucking movie. Like, it doesn't do anything. And I was like, what is this, man? Like, if you're gonna, it's like with Overlord. If you're gonna make a pulp movie, then fucking embrace it. Just do it. Go crazy. Be like super over the top. That's fine.
So you didn't think that having Jason Statham, the transporter, was going to be he was going to make a really good movie? You went and didn't think it was going to be a fantastic movie?
I didn't expect the Meg to be good. I was hoping that when I saw that it was going to be rated PG-13, I was really disappointed. And that definitely hurt the movies. You can see a lot of spots where there's definitely going to be like a really cool gore set piece, and they trimmed it. And then I read an interview with the director who said they actually didn't even finish the effects on a lot of the stuff because they knew it was going to get cut anyway. So that was really, really disappointing. I just think it was a missed opportunity. It's like, what's cooler than like Jaws, a giant one, and then they just didn't really do anything with it. Like
Jaws times 12.
Well, Jared,
very anemic.
Jared, what did you think was the worst movie of 2018 for you?
I don't know. I was kind of thinking. I kind of came in late to the conversation, so I'm still kind of thinking. I've reviewed a couple of independent films this year, but I mean, ultimately, I was kind of disappointed with Halloween. I know I might be in the minority with that. We've talked about it a couple times on a couple of different podcasts, but
I think it was like a 50-50 split. People who were liked it and people who just absolutely hated it.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I was definitely disappointed by it at the same time. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, you get all the best parts, what you're expecting, but at the same time, it like leaves a bad taste in your mouth that you just can't swallow because that is not a taste you want in your mouth.
I think we've all been there.
So are you looking forward to Halloween 2.5 or whatever the fuck it's going to be called? Because they are talking about doing a sequel to Halloween.
It's just going to be called Halloween.
You're just going to keep ignoring the previous one over and over again.
Oh, I like that idea. Just keep retrying until somebody likes it.
We have some Facebook comments with Lauren Lepre. Lombardo was owning it tonight, and he's got 3 likes on that comment. So good. So Lauren Lepre is a fan of Mike Lombardo. I guess Mike Lombardo just hearted his comment. Randy Rock, The Meg. How did you ruin The Meg? I guess I got to check out The Meg to see how terrible that was. Ron Buchanan, I really enjoyed The Strangers Pray at Night, starring one of your friends and also a guest on the show, Damien Maffei, who was also in I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday, which we're probably not going to mention on tonight's episode because let's face it, Mike's tired of talking about it.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about the worst of the year list, well, no, that's not fair because it really, I guess, came out in 2017, so it would have been on that year's shit list. But like, what a pile! Jesus Christ!
Oh no, we could talk about your movie because it got distroed in 2018.
Okay,
that was one of the rules.
That's my number 3 worst movie of the year. Is the one I will say I did love Strangers Pray at Night, and I'm not saying that because Damien is in our movie and that I'm friends with him. I was hesitant to watch it when it first came out because I didn't think I was going to like it, but I really, really love the look of it, and that pool scene is so fucking cool. Like, there's a lot about that movie. It's a lot more low-key and indie than I was expecting. Like, I thought it was going to be like just a generic slasher flick, but it was a lot more more atmospheric and a lot more low-key with everything. It was more realistic, I guess, except for the ending was not realistic at all. And I think that kind of where the movie kind of falls apart a little bit. I think it got a little too big with the action, but it was still cool. But I really, really loved that, and it was cool to see Damien like murdering people. That was pretty weird.
How do we have proof that was even him?
Well,
just
I can't
saying
show you those pictures, but
yeah. I mean, I could show you a picture of me in a suit with a mask like that. It could have been me.
Might incriminate you.
What?
Maybe I have such an open mind to horror films. Like, I don't know. Out of all the films that I've seen this year, I can't say that I hated any of them necessarily.
Did you see The Predator?
No, I want to.
That I will say that was the worst movie of the year. I almost walked out of that.
Disappointing.
And the sad thing is I will buy it on Blu-ray day one.
That's really disappointing.
Did you see it, Jared?
No, I haven't, but I will still buy it on Blu-ray day one.
It. Seriously, rent it before you buy it. It's a fucking. Apparently, I read somewhere that Shane Black, during the premiere, went up to his hotel room. He didn't want to be there when they screened it because he was so upset. Like how badly it got fucked. It's a fucking mess.
So he stole a little bit of Zero Mostel from the producers. He went to the bar. Was like, "This is gonna be a flop."
So he directed like Iron Man 3. So they like fucked his movie.
Iron Man 3 is garbage though.
He did the nice guys or the good guys.
You don't like Guy Ritchie shooting laser beams out of his eyes? Wasn't that in one of the comic books?
No, kind of.
So you Mike, back to what you were saying, Shane. So they must have fucked with his movie more than he even did.
So when I watched it, I was like, afterwards, and I'm like, man, the third act of that movie was such a fucking mess. I'm like, they probably reshot so many things. And then the article literally like an hour later popped up online about how the entire second half of the movie got reshot. I was like, you can tell so badly. It looks like 2 different people made the movie. It's awful. It is fucking awful. But you know what's not awful? Was Summer of '84. That movie was fucking great.
Yeah.
It was alright.
Nice to watch.
That was an actually surprising movie. I hated
It's not a horror movie, but it's okay.
I hated it when I first saw it. I had to reflect on it for like a good like 6 hours because the ending is not what you think it's going to be, and you see that spoiler sign right up there. That spoiler sign. We're going to talk about Summer of '84 real quick. Summer of '84, just in case someone didn't hear me say it the first time. I didn't care for the ending because when they killed the best friend, I felt like, no, this is not how it was supposed to end. What are you doing?
That shit was raw, man. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, and it had all the chemistry of like your favorite '80s movies involving kids, except we'll throw a little Mac in there. But and then you have the ending where it's the killer kills his best friend and then gets away, and then it just ends. And the girl of his dreams moves out of town. His friends are fighting with each other.
He never would have got with her anyways.
Yeah, he would have.
No.
We'll have to see the return of Summer of '84. I think
she
that was
way out of his league.
But that wasn't.
That whole ending worked so well because it was like a slap in the face because that's how it would be. That was real life. It's like, well, things don't get wrapped up prettily. Most crimes go unsolved, and everything fucking sucks. That's life, kid. Deal with it. And I love that. Yeah. I'm like, wow, that was really a downer. Although I do think that there was too much fun camaraderie, like stuff like that earlier in the movie. There's too much of a build for that to be the ending. It didn't fit.
Yeah, I could see that. Too much lighthearted, like Goonies-like stuff.
Exactly. They also needed to show the guy, like people being murdered earlier, because I didn't really feel like there was really a threat. I mean, they said that people were disappearing, but they didn't really show anything until like I think a little past the hour mark. So I just was like, I mean, it doesn't feel real to me. Just like it doesn't feel real to the kids because they're just reading about it in the newspaper. They're like, oh, this would be fun. Let's hunt a killer. But I'm the audience, so I need to see that there's a threat, an actual threat. But once it kicks in, I thought it was really great. I think
yeah, you're right. I mean, there really wasn't a threat. Like it was just like, oh, cool. And like the only time you ever see anything is when that boy gets kidnapped, like halfway through the movie, and you never see him again. And then it is until the end where it's just, hey, we're gonna fuck with the audience now, and they did.
Well, I also didn't like, again, spoiler alert, everybody. I didn't like that. At the beginning of the movie, they're like, "Hey, what if our neighbor's a serial killer?" And then the twist is their neighbor's a serial killer, and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah." And that was pretty
telegraphed.
And I know I said this on a previous podcast, but I was like, it felt like equal parts Goonies meets Fright Night. Like, you knew he was the bad guy kind of from the beginning, but when the ending came, it wasn't a big twist.
Yeah,
it just broke your heart. That's all it did.
But no, it was a cool movie. I really liked the style of it and everything. I think it did all the stuff that Stranger Things and all those other and Turbo Kid did wrong. Like, this felt like actual kids. They actually felt like friends. It actually felt like it was in the 80s because it wasn't slapping you in the face with it constantly. It just happened to take place in that time period. It felt very organic. It wasn't like, hey, let's go see Poltergeist.
Like it did.
Was that?
Like it did.
It absolutely was. It out this year?
That was last year, but it slapped on the face with the 80s.
Yeah, constantly. That was really obnoxious. But Summer of '84 was cool though. Look at this list to see what other stuff I've seen.
Real quick, we're going to Facebook land with some more comments from you who are watching. Jesse Gordon says, "How do you guys feel about the Legendary getting the rights to make a big budget Toxic Avenger?" I don't know too much about that.
Oh, I saw about that. I'm a big Trauma fan. I don't know how to hear that.
I don't care.
Well, they've been talking about it for years, and like they keep saying the remake's gonna happen and shit. But like, I don't know what they're gonna do with it if it actually happens. Like, what the fuck's a big budget Toxic Avenger movie? Like what?
Well, they were gonna like what was the talks? Like they were gonna have Arnold Schwarzenegger star as the Toxic Avenger for so many years. Like as soon as Citizen Toxie came out, like that's what they were like living off of. And I like to this day, Lloyd Kaufman and Troma says that Citizen Toxie is like their best like non-80s Toxic Avenger movie.
Oh, it absolutely is. There's only 2 Toxic Avenger movies as far as I'm concerned. It's the original and Citizen Toxie.
You don't want to count part 2 and 3.
I enjoyed Michael Jai White in number 2.
Oh, he was in number 2.
Wait, was it number 3? I don't remember.
I think he was a little bit in number 2.
Simultaneously, just cut into 2 movies.
We got
those movies are hard to watch.
Ron Buchanan says not the best, but another enjoyable movie of 2018 was Hellfest. I have not seen that. I want to. Joe Ridgely says, what about Death House? I guess that's the all-star horror movie starring
all the horror icons. Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
I think Tony Todd's in it.
I haven't seen it yet.
We also have Speaking of Summer 84 by Nickel Fritz Brown. Have anyone seen The Clove Hitch Killer? I have not seen that. Have you guys seen that?
That was really good.
I watched one called Bloodfest that came out this year.
Oh, how was that?
That was actually pretty entertaining.
I almost bought one. I saw a trailer for that. It looks fun.
Is that the one at the amusement park?
Yeah, it's like they go to this huge rave concert, and it's like they all show up, and then it turns into a horror movie. Like, there's like different areas throughout the park, and they're all getting attacked by killers. And the movie's amazing for the first 2 acts until the ending, and I'm like, what the fuck is even happening?
It was basically like the collection, right? Not the first one, the collector, but like the collection where people start getting like.
Yeah, kind of. But
like
it's like they know what they're getting into. It's like, run for your lives now. And then so they all break off into these different areas, and there's zombies, and there's like slasher killers. It's interesting, but
sounds like a no bleed for Dreamcast.
The ending just threw me for a loop. It was like, it totally didn't tie the movie together good enough.
Yeah, you can always kind of tell with movies like that when they have like a bigger budget for production, and then you just don't hear about them. They're like straight to like VOD, and it's always been that way for some reason. And I think a lot of it has to do with the ending. Maybe people are just the companies aren't happy with the ending or the way that things are going. They just go right to VOD and digital release. Not comparing that to of course, having a smarter route of going straight to VOD and digital release than just trying to aim for a marketing strategy to the theaters. But let's look at the movies, for example, like Suspiria, where Suspiria came out, and Suspiria is pretty much on a balance as being a great horror movie of 2018. Suspiria was a very good movie. In fact, it was when we go into like our top 5 movies, like our top favorite movies of 2018, Suspiria is one of my favorites. And it's a shame that Suspiria did not get that wide release. It was like, Jared, you mentioned that like the closest theater it was playing was like 30 miles from your house. That's crazy.
Even farther. Yeah.
Even further?
Yeah.
Damn. And that's absolutely nuts. I mean, Suspiria was just, it was a remake of a movie that was pretty decent when it came out, but it's, notorious for being very beautiful and having an amazing soundtrack. The new Suspiria was very beautiful. The soundtrack by Tom York was very depressing, and I don't mean depressing like, oh my god, I'm in love with it. I mean like Radiohead depressing, where it's you listen to it and you just want to fucking stab your eyes out. That's my opinion. I thought Tom York's soundtrack for Suspiria was god-awful. It made me want to like strangle myself to death violently. But the movie was very good. It was very it had a slow burn and a nice little build to it. But it's a shame that we're not getting a bigger release in theaters for movies like that. We're getting wide releases for movies like The Meg. I mean, come on. That's why I didn't see it, because I knew that with Jason Statham attached to it, they were going to try to pick apart and like throw this movie out out into the open and try to catch their audience somewhere, and they didn't. But it's a shame. I'm glad that we're 2018 was a great year for horror movies, and I say that with all sincerity. Like we've had years where back in the early 2000s where everything was a remake from a movie in the 70s. There was that year 2005, I think, where John Carpenter's The Fog got remade. And there was like little movies that straggled on, like little sequels, like probably Children of the Corn had a sequel that year, and they were just awful
every year. That's how I know what I keep that as a calendar. I know what month it is because I know when the fucking Children of the Corn sequel comes out. It's like, oh, it's October.
Yeah. It's how many sequels are there? I think we mentioned on the show before.
Oh, more than 10, I think. But yeah, we don't need to get into that baloney. So does Suspiria on your plus or minus list?
Oh, Suspiria is on my top 5. I thought Suspiria was a very well done movie, and watching the original Suspiria again, like I said, the best parts of Suspiria were the gore, the music, and the scenery. The rest of the movie, like the beginning of the movie's awesome, then you have the rest of the movie until the very end, and it just going back and looking at this,
really a narrative. It's really just it's cool set pieces.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie. It's a beautiful movie. There's a lot to love, but it's not a good movie.
Yeah, but the new Suspiria keeps you entertained. It's almost 3 hours long, but it's a good movie. They tackle a lot of different things. They go more into the three mothers, which I know Ray would absolutely adore. They go more into the dancing, which I know Mike would absolutely adore.
Those who don't know, I used to be a classically trained ballet dancer in my younger years. Then a tragic accident involving too much pizza led to my collapsing.
Oh no!
Yeah, there's not enough pizza in Suspiria, but I think you guys will actually appreciate Suspiria. And those who are at home, Suspiria is coming out on Blu-ray, so I would definitely check it out when it comes out to purchase it or at least watch it on video.
I think it comes out in January.
January?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a great time. Use your gift cards. I know all of you are getting gift cards for Christmas, so use them up to purchase.
No one knows what to get you for Christmas.
Exactly. So, but let's. You guys want to talk about indie movies that you want to throw out there? Honorable mention for
that. Upgrade was a really great movie too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not super like horror necessarily, but it was more like cyberpunk.
Was it spelled with 2 D's for double dosage of pimping?
Upgrade.
But it was a really good movie. It had really, really gnarly gore, and it was really a real downer of an ending. I was really surprised at how bleak it got.
It was an Idiocracy reference.
Yeah, I wanted to check out Upgrade. I heard great things about it. I heard it's a really fun action horror movie. And, I just never got around to it. I know it's somewhere on Amazon to watch on video on demand or just own it. But the action was cool. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Hardcore Henry, but in third person mode.
I mean, I could see it. I mean, there's definitely that weird sci-fi.
She agreed to, so I think
I just quite like how it was like a low that they showed. It wasn't like super.
I heard what she said.
Yeah, but I'll have to go check it out. I think it looks fantastic, and if you're saying the ending is bleak, I know I'll love it. I'm a fan of very unsettling endings.
You better be sorry. Yeah.
Jared, you mind if I mute you real quick?
I'm going to talk.
Okay, go ahead, talk.
No, you need to mute me because my wife's being too loud?
I just couldn't hear anything.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, she threw a shoe at me. I caught it. Okay. So I reviewed a movie a couple months back, an indie film from Spain or Portugal, possibly, called The Forest of the Lost Souls.
Okay.
And it was shot in complete black and white. And the basic synopsis is there an elderly father goes to a forest that's commonly known as a suicide forest where people go to commit suicide to kill himself. And there's this young punk teen that kind of starts following him around, like asking him, like, what are you doing here? Why are you wanting to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And slight spoiler alert, she basically gets him to relax beside the water and euthanizes him for him.
Oh, okay.
And later you find out that she's, pretty fucking crazy. It was a really wild movie. It was really dark and really cold, and being shot in black and white, like the entire feeling just felt cold.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not have a happy ending, and it's probably flown under most people's radars, but it's called The Forest of the Lost Souls, and I don't think it's been dubbed in English. I'm not sure if it even has gotten a DVD or Blu-ray release yet, but that's definitely one of the big ones on my indie list for this year.
I'll tell you what the top of my indie list is this year. This is not a surprise to anyone who listens to me talk on any day ending in Y. Live Scream by Michelle Iantuano, who we had on the show. I fucking adore that movie. I think it's the best, probably one of the best movies I've seen all year, actually.
Yeah. Did we review that for our website? I don't even know if we did.
I think it's great. I can't wait for it to get a distro release. I know that movie has the potential of getting a distro release very soon. And for anyone who is out there that distributes movies, you need to check out Live Scream.
Yeah, it's really, really, really fucking cool. It's very clever.
I think Mike actually reviewed that for us on the website.
Oh, that's right. You did,
Oh,
Lombardo.
sure.
And I'm pretty sure that movie's getting distro, Brian. Wink, wink.
Okay, cool. Wink, wink. Well, congratulations to Michelle and the entire cast and crew of Live Scream. Oh my god, I almost said. Congratulations.
Have you guys seen Butterfly Kisses? That's another fucking phenomenal movie I saw on the indie circuit this year on the fest circuit. Another fabulous indie movie I saw on the fest circuit.
Fabulous. Blah, 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 blah.
Butterfly Kisses is kind of like a faux documentary about like a filmmaker who finds the raw footage from a documentary that was being shot about like an urban legend called the Blink Man. It's like a if you like go to this bridge and stare for like 30 minutes without blinking, you see this guy coming. Every time you blink, he's one step closer to you. So they film this thing, and basically the filmmakers just disappeared. So this guy starts reconstructing the documentary and trying to figure out what happened to them, and then he gets wrapped up in the urban legend. It is so fucking cool, and it's so creepy. But it's got Ed Sanchez in it actually from the Blair Witch, but it's very Blair Witch-esque, but it's really, really atmospheric. It just came out on Blu-ray and DVD through Gravitas. It's like $12 on Amazon. Definitely check it out. I think you're going to really get a kick out of it.
Was that the movie you got Lex for her birthday?
Yes. She's a fucking obsessed with it. Eric Christopher Myers.
Okay.
Talked his ear off for like 3 hours at Genre Blast when we saw it. And actually, I played it at Scares the Care along with Live Scream. It was really, really fucking fantastic.
But you said it's called Butterfly Kisses?
Yes.
Nice. I do have another indie one, unless Ray wants to pipe in.
No. Mention all your honorable mentions for indie movies.
There was one, when I reviewed it, I kind of got confused when the release date happened. Officially, it got filmed in 2017, but didn't get released till this year. But it was The Endless, directed by the guys that did Spring. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah, it was a really intense film. It's about two brothers that escape a suicide cult, and they try to acclimate themselves to normal life once they leave the cult. And then they realize that, acclimating to normal life isn't working, so they go back to the cult for a couple of days to see if, that's what they needed in their life. And when they go back, like, weird shit starts to happen, and it is so much more than that synopsis. Like, weird supernatural shit starts happening. Oh, wow. It's like one of the most weird, visually effective films I've seen in a long time. I think in my review I said, had it been released in 2018, it'd probably be my favorite film when I wrote it, but then I realized it was released in 2018, so it's definitely in my top 3 of this year. But The Endless.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. Brian Keane really talked about that a lot.
I heard Keane liked it a lot. It's very like Lovecraftian. It's very like mysterious, and it has to do with like time loops and stuff. It's just fucking all over the place.
Isn't it like a sequel to their first movie or something?
I don't think so, because that movie Spring they did is kind of a monster love movie, kind of like the Shape of Water, only the girl is the monster, but not as romantic as the Shape of Water.
It was pseudo connected to their first film. I can't remember what the hell it's called. That's what Brian.
Restraint.
What's that?
Restraint, maybe.
I don't know.
They've only done like 3 movies together, but the guys that directed it are actually they play brothers in the movie, and you can definitely tell that they wrote those parts for each other, and they just acted the shit out of it.
Soaring.
So it's called The End List, or
The End List.
Okay.
Like it's never ending.
Got you. You mentioned cult movies, and I know it's not 2018. My wife and I just watched The Sacrament. I guess that was loosely based off the Jim Jones murders, Jonestown.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen that one. That was directed by
really
Ty West. Yeah.
Ty West did it, and I think Eli Roth helped produce it.
Yeah.
Is it literally based on it, or is it like a fictional?
It's
fictional, but it's pretty close. I mean, they have the whole incident and everything in it.
I'll check that out. That sounds cool.
It was on Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, it was on
It's
Netflix.
it's on Tubi TV. So if you got Tubi, you get commercials, but it's worth it, and it's legal.
What about you, sweet baby Ray? What's your what's some indie flicks you liked?
I like that barbecue sauce, by the way.
That I liked that came out this year.
Yeah.
What came out this year? I mean, like indie movies are harder to judge by year because, like you said, Doomsday was for last year, and
Anything that got distroed this
that
year.
doesn't count to me. So
Summer of '84 would have been considered an indie film that came out this year.
I mean, if You Can was an indie film too, that wasn't a big budget. That was they played all the bigger. That's not my favorite that came out this year. I'm gonna say Candyman because it got distroed this year. How about that?
I'll put Candyman.
It also got distroed in 1992.
Cheater!
Yeah, but it came out in Blu-ray this year though.
Sweet.
I'm looking at my wall. I love The Sleeper. That got distro this year. Pool Party Massacre. I don't know if that was this year or last year.
Shout out to Drew Marvick.
I mean, I don't want to put a negative spin on anything from Scream Team, but I did not like Bong of the Living Dead one bit.
Not even just a little bit.
Not even a little
like
bit.
the bowl.
I'll never watch that movie again.
I like the bowl piece I got from it.
That's not the movie though.
I have yet to see
I like it. I think it's a little uneven.
It's super uneven.
It feels like two movies melded together.
It does. And
I think I said that in my review.
The
first half felt like Clerks meets Dazed and Confused, and then it kind of gets into this fucking serious.
Is The Dark Military 2018?
It was distroed this year.
I know that, but did it come out?
I believe it was filmed in 2016.
I'll leave that one. I'll leave that one alone.
Lauren's watching.
Yeah, that's why I'll leave it alone. 1031 was pretty cool. Some of it. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of indie movies. I'm not the right guy to ask because I'm a dick about things, and I don't like a lot of movies that other people like. Chud's good.
Chud's great.
How do you really feel about Chud 2? Then?
Mike, I saw Night of the Demons on Blu-ray, the 10 for $15 today.
That's worth it. I don't like that 10 box release. That pissed me off. Because
I know. I was checking to see if there's anything different about it, but I don't know. I couldn't tell.
There is. I think they just repackaged it again, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. The ones I like The Sleeper, but that's from 2012. It's hard to do indie because most of these movies either hit the circuit or are done a year ahead. Like Doomsday was done. We saw that last year, didn't we?
Yeah, probably.
Like Mike brought up Live Scream. That would
I didn't watch Live Scream.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did.
That's why I wasn't on the show that night. I'd like to watch it. I really like everything I hear about Michelle. She seems like, first of all, she seems like an awesome person. Second of all, what she's doing in the genre of indie horror film sounds amazing.
Just being a woman filmmaker is...
Well, not even that. I'm talking about the just the other things that when it comes to filmmaking itself has nothing to do with her gender. I mean, I guess that is a thing because there aren't very many indie filmmakers that are women, which is a shame.
Right.
What is there? Brooklyn Ewing or something like that? Is that her name?
Oh, she's pretty. Yeah. Yeah,
I think she's the only other one that comes to mind, other than PJ Starks. That's an inside joke with me and PJ. But yeah, I mean, like I'm looking at my wall here, and I've got 12 indie posters, and none of them came out this year. I mean, distro is not the same thing to me because there's The Barn, 1031, because Scream Team releasing almost everything that came out this year was made or came out years prior.
Yeah.
So nothing against that because they're all pretty good movies.
I would have to say the Lunch Lady short would probably...
we're talking short films.
Yeah.
That short from yesterday was wonderful, Mike.
Oh, We Summoned a Demon?
Yeah, that was great.
Fantastic short. So, We Summoned a Demon, Lunch Ladies, and The Doll Maker are 3 of the best short films I've ever seen, period. It's insane how, like, they're intimidatingly good.
Did anybody else get to watch that one, We Summoned a Demon?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I posted it the other day. Look it up. It's on Vimeo. Just hit Vimeo and look up The Doll Maker. That movie is so fucking sad and wonderful. It's like a Tales from the Dark Side or Tales from the Crypt episode. I'm sorry, a Twilight Zone episode. I'm in every fucking anthology show except the one I'm trying to.
There you go.
It reminds me of the Twilight Zone, but like really sad. It's so creepy and wonderful. It just came out on Vimeo as well. Another one called Doll also just hit Vimeo. It's not really like a horror movie, but that was a really excellent short about a janitor that at an elementary or a high school who dresses in like a silicone like woman suit at night. It's more like it's like a weird fetish thing, but it's a really sad movie. It's not really horror, but it played at Nightmares Film Festival, and I really love that one too.
Is my video and audio coming through? Because I'm glitching really bad on it looks like.
You were out for a second or two, but
well, I took myself out for a second because I wanted to check and see if what's going on out there. If there's a lot of if they're sucking my internet dry, but
you seem to be okay now.
We have a couple comments from Facebook land. Todd Clark, he says The Endless, excellent film. The Endless ties into their first film, Before Soaring, so it's Before Soaring. Revolution, it's called. Revolution is the name of the first film, so we're answering that question for you.
Really? Okay, I need to look into that. Thank you, Todd, for answering that.
But yeah, I mean, are those some of the honorable mentions you wanted to mention so far before I go into mine?
Oh wait, I got one more honorable mention. It's this really obscure film series.
Damn it!
Especially Critters 2, the main course.
God damn it!
Excellent stuff.
I looked for that today and I couldn't find it. I couldn't even find the Rex series on Blu-ray at vintage stock today. I'm just really disappointed. It's my record whatever. It's Rec is what it says.
Record.
I don't know. There's a lot of good indie horror movies out there. I'm excited to see what Brian says.
Yeah. I mean, indie movies take forever to make because it's usually self-funded at the time. So when I wanted to mention these movies being distroed this year, I feel like it's it's just as fair to mention these movies as the other movies that come out, popular movies, because popular movies can also take quite a few years too, and they get shelved. So that being it's the year 2018, these movies have finally got distro. These are actually movies I reviewed for the Horror Syndicate that have had distribution this year. The first movie I'm going to mention from the Mahal Empire, producer Sonny Mahal and his brother Michael Mahal, they produced a movie called Bus Party to Hell. Now, this movie is an indie movie starring Tara Reid, and it's about these people who vacation through the Nevada desert, and they run into a cannibalistic Satanism cult, satanic cult. And they have to survive the night while they're looking for a virgin to have sex with the devil so they can create the Antichrist. And it's just a really wild ride. There's plenty of nudity. There's plenty of violence, plenty of gore. It's a movie that hit at a left park. Like I said in my review, when you first start watching it, it kind of feels like a made-for-sci-fi type movie, but then it gets a little crazier, and it's a lot of fun. It's a blast to have popcorn and just sit with a bunch of friends and watch this movie, or by yourself if you're into that. Watching, of course, like the rest of us, watching movies with tons of boob, gore, violence, and adult language.
So they're trying to find a virgin for Satan to have sex with?
Yeah, it's a really cool movie.
I don't understand that. Like, why, they bring it with like the, the terrorists that are like, oh, you get like 100 virgins in the afterlife. Why would you want that? Like, if I was Satan, the last thing I'd want is a virgin. It's like, boy, now I gotta like teach you how to.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people playing Fortnite.
That wouldn't be good. That'd be terrible. If I was the devil, I'd be really disappointed. I'd be like, hey, where's someone who's been with like 3 or 4 people at least, so they know what they like and what's going on? Like, that'd be way better.
Another honorable mention I want to make, they had their distro release this year on Blu-ray from Scream Team. Scream Team releasing distro, their movie. It's not Scream Team releasing, but Scream Team released The Dark Military on Blu-ray in 2019. We'll have a video on demand release. The New Jersey native Lauren Lepre. Or Lauren Lepre, I don't know how to say his last name because I heard Lepre before and then I heard someone else say Lepre, so I don't know how to say it anymore. I'm confused. I'm a confused child. But The Dark Military was a fun indie horror movie that came out in 2019. Wrote a review for that on the Horror Syndicate. You can check that out. One of the movies I checked out this year had a distribution release. Young director Tristan Clay and writer-actress Destiny Orndorff, they created the movie Red Eye, which got distribution this year. It's now available on DVD.
Forgot all about that movie. That movie's terrible.
I wouldn't say that Red Eye is my favorite movie to come out this year. You can read my review on Red Eye on the horrorsyndicate.com, and then they also have plans to make their new movie Inverted, which I'm looking forward to. And then we have Leaf Blower Massacre 2, which had a self-distribution release this year through Kickstarter, or one of the GoFundMe pages. Leaf Blower Massacre 2, which is a feature-length film based off the short story Leaf Blower Massacre. You can guarantee what that movie is about. You can also find my review of Leaf Blower Massacre on... I think I'm losing you guys.
That's what I thought. Can you hear me, Brian?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're still going strong.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. Like everyone was like
a couple times.
Okay, but yeah, Leaf Blower Massacre 2. You can check out my review on the horrorsyndicate.com. And all those movies have had distribution this year, even though they were made prior years before. But I'm counting them for the 2018 release. So there's.
You did the review for Dark Military too, didn't you?
I did do a review for Dark Military, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all those movies, you can find my reviews on the horrorsyndicate.com. And yeah, so those are my honorable mentions. I know there's quite an abundance of indie horror movies that were distributed this year. And if we have not mentioned any, please comment below. Facebook land, tell us your favorite indie horror movie or worst indie horror movie that you have seen this year.
So we got. Go ahead, Jared.
I was just gonna ask just a random question since this is our season finale for the year. If there was one episode you could say was your best or your least favorite, even like who was your favorite guest on our episodes this year? Anybody can go first.
Everything just froze on me, so I don't know what just happened.
You guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just going to say, like, since this is our season finale, like, what was our favorite episode? Like, what was your favorite guest, you know, or that kind of thing, like, that you can recall?
My favorite episode was Scream Factory versus Arrow.
That's my top.
Favorite guest was probably either Vince DeSanti from Never Hike Alone or Justin from Scream Team. But most of all, my favorite guest is always here. His name's Mike Lombardo. And he just won't go away.
I'm like herpes.
Yes. And I know all about that.
What?
Oh my god!
You want to elaborate?
I mean, obviously, the episode we had Justin on is going to be one of my top ones because it led to the distro review for White Doomsday. But I thought it was a really fun review.
It did. It totally did.
I think our best guests were probably Carissa Jacobson and Matt Folletta from Lunch Ladies. That was one of the most fun I've ever had on a show. Actually, that was the most fun I've ever had on a podcast, period. That was a fucking blast. That was just funny as shit. I really liked the Arrow versus Scream Factory one because that was like the one episode where we always end up just talking about Blu-rays anyway, but that was where we were officially supposed to talk about Blu-rays.
Yeah.
So that was like a nice excuse, and a couple people...
We were actually on topic for once.
Yeah, exactly. And a couple people had mentioned that that it helped them out and they picked up a few movies because of it, and I thought that was really cool that we were able to help them, find some new stuff that they may not have known about previously.
Nice.
Good call.
What about you, Brian? I'll go last.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the David Howard Thornton episode. I was pretty inebriated for that. It was a good time. I like talking Terrifier. I like talking about the upcoming of Art the Clown. I compared Art the Clown to Freddy Krueger, and I said that this is the beginning of his career for him, and he's just going to see a lot of good things his way. So it was really nice to nab him in the beginning of his stardom with him being Art the Clown. I thought that was
really
a great
did
episode.
catch him before it started blowing up.
Yeah, he was one of the main features at Days of the Dead Chicago in November.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
So
good. Yeah,
he did amazing. I think there's a lot of episodes that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Clarissa Jacobson and Matt Folletta on, and I enjoyed talking about Jack Frost and Lunch Ladies. That was a lot of fun.
So much.
I enjoyed having Justin Seaman on, and Vicente DeSanti was a blast. The Halloween episode was a favorite of mine. Just having all those different inputs from Nathan and Renee.
Renee, yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, so I think every episode where I was on, I thought was the best episode. So yeah,
last week's episode was not one of Brian's favorites.
What about our Friday the 13th episode where I just talked about how much I hate Friday the 13th? But I actually love it.
I think that's everyone's favorite.
I think I have to be a cantankerous old man.
Yeah, I think everyone's favorite episode is whenever Mike Lombardo just starts screaming about how much he hates Friday the 13th franchise. But yeah, we should have sponsors now. I think Bud Light Lime should sponsor our show. Definitely in Facebook land. We have Lauren Lepre talking about A Quiet Place. Where's the love? Military, thanks for the shout out. Matt Folletta, doll, thanks. Hope to be on again with my bottle of bourbon. I even bought a new laptop so you'll be able to hear me.
Hell yeah.
So go ahead, Ray. I cut you off.
No, I just said I loved it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have not seen that one. I haven't seen A Quiet Place. That was one of the ones I missed out.
I think you guys all touched on like what my favorite episodes were for sure. Like we had too many decent guests to like label it down to a favorite show. But I mean, Matt Folletta and Clarissa with Lunch Ladies, like that was a really fun episode. And having Justin Seaman actually find time to sit down and talk to us for a little while was really cool. And David Howard Thornton, a.k.a. Art the Clown, that was really cool too. And, Vincent, always awesome to talk to him, and Michelle, and what's the guy's name from Live Screen? Lombardo.
Gunnar Willis.
Yeah.
That was a good episode. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was really nice talking to them too, because I really enjoyed that film a lot. And it was really nice kind of picking their brain a little bit about that movie. So that kind of leaves us like, where do we go for next year? Like, what do we do? Right?
Those watching on Facebook, please tell us in the comments what you would like to see from our show next year when we begin to start off our next season. Would you like to see a different layout of the show? Is Google Hangouts? We currently use Google Hangouts a little bit distracting for you. Do you not like the immediate images on the bottom of screen? How about the trailers? Are you a fan of the trailers that play in the beginning of the movie? So what would you like to see more? Would you like to see celebrity guests? Would you like to see more interviews with indie artists? Would you like to see interviews with popular artists in mainstream movies? Like if we had actors or directors from the hot horror movies of 2019. Would you like to see something like that? It's a little harder to do, but we can attempt to do it. Mike Lombardo says more Lex Quinn in a towel. Our
unofficial mascot.
But what would you like to see, Facebook land? Please comment below on what you like to see for 2019. So let's get into the best horror movies of 2018, our top 5 of 2018, and talk about why you should go see it. Let's start it off. Who would like to go first?
What was
Top
the question? I was
top
picking
5
my
horror
buddy.
movies.
Top 5 horror movies of 2018.
Oh shit. Well, I listed a couple of them already.
I'm gonna go
All
back to your master list.
I'm gonna go first, and these are not in any order. Hereditary really affected me in multiple ways. Summer of '84, we've already discussed a little bit at length. I mentioned Forest of the Lost Souls, The Endless. Halloween, I kind of put it as an honorable mention just because I don't know. But the one that kind of rounded my list out was Incident in a Ghostland, which kind of started out as a casual invasion film where they take over a family, but it turns into so much more than that, and it's like emotionally provoking, and like I don't even want to necessarily go into it because it would take too long. But yeah, Incident in a Ghostland. So if you guys haven't heard of that one, Google it and look at it. But that's me.
I'll go next. Halloween was on there. So I'm going off Brian's list. So I guess number 5 would be Annihilation, which I don't really think is a horror movie. It's a really good movie.
I might be into. I heard a lot of good things about that.
I like it.
Very, very sci-fi.
It's toss up whether or not you like it.
Crafting, isn't it?
It's
Very
what?
love crafting, isn't it?
It's got a lot of creepy looking monsters, that's for sure.
I don't know if it is 100%. I couldn't say it's Lovecraft, actually. It's no Dagon.
No fish monster.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hellraiser Judgment, I actually liked it. But the top 3, A Quiet Place was really good. Hereditary and Halloween. I think Hereditary was my favorite overall. Then maybe A Quiet Place. Halloween, it is what it is. But there's a few of these movies I still haven't seen. I didn't really care for Mandy all that much. Strangers Prey at Night was okay. Insidious: The Last Key was okay. And Summer of '84 just is not a horror movie at all to me. So I don't even include that. I won't even buy it and put it in my collection so.
Blah to you.
It's a regular movie. It's a thriller.
Blah. Which fits into the horror genre.
Sometimes. Yeah, I think that's it.
Mike, what was your top 5?
I don't know. I think I talked about all of them already. The Meg, Terrifier. What is Ray holding up? That zombie?
I'm holding Zombie up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my copy of that on Primbus. I think Santa Claus might have brought it to me.
I got this one too. One of my top 5.
Ooh, that movie. Yeah, sorry.
Put these two together. That's quite a night.
Yeah. I think that Live Scream's definitely on there. I loved Live Scream. Fuck my life. I can't think of the other damn movies now. Upgrade was really good.
Hellraiser Judgment. Just say it.
It was all right. It was better than I expected it to be.
Better than the previous 3.
Yeah, I mean that's not saying much though.
But it is.
I really liked. I'm trying to think of the indie stuff that I saw at the festivals, which is there's so much that I fucking.
Well, hold on. Here's one. I don't know if you like this one or not. Did you see Dude Bro Party Massacre? It got distroed this year. That movie's out of control.
I do want to check it out. I hear a lot of fun things about it.
It's fun.
I would say Butterfly Kisses is definitely up there, if not number 1, next to Live Scream. Like fucking phenomenal.
Balloon. What about that? You liked that one, didn't you?
Balloon I loved. Balloon was really, really fucking great too. That's
off topic. Our friend Brian that writes for us, he loved Gnawbone, by the way. Just throw that out there.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. He loved it. Everybody's opinions are different.
I know.
Just gonna throw that there.
I know.
What else?
I'd like to pick his brain and figure out what he liked about it. I guess I read his review, but
Yeah, just read his review.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't remember the other movies I watched, but short films would definitely be, Lunch Ladies and Dollmaker and We Summoned a Demon. That's all I can remember offhand. Like I've watched so much stuff this year. It's all a blur.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. My problem is there's a lot of the mainstream stuff I haven't seen.
Yeah, I don't really watch.
So your top three were The Meg, Predator.
No, it's off Predator.
All right, what about Brian?
The top 5 movies that I really enjoyed this year, no particular order. Actually, yeah, there is an order. Only for the first movie. The movies that I liked this year were Hereditary. I thought Hereditary was a fantastic horror movie, and I don't understand why there's so much hate for it on social media. They talk about it being the most boring movie of the year or ever, as being worse.
They didn't say Mandy, I guess.
They say it's worse than The Witch, which is kind of chaotic in my opinion.
It made me, you know what? I got to throw this out there. It made me rewatch The Witch and see it from a different view. That's why, again, Jared, I got to rewatch Neon Demon because of that.
Same. Yeah. Same. I got to rewatch Neon Demon. I think I would enjoy it a lot more a second time knowing what happens. For the solely the performance by itself, I think Terrifier is on my top 5 list. I think that David Howard Thorne knocked it out of the park as Art the Clown, and it's really nice to see, live in the same time that something like this is happening, where we have another rise of like a Freddy Krueger on our hands. He's becoming a cult icon, and this is the first movie that, well, I mean, besides All Hallows Eve, which is the short film, or the short part of it, where with Art the Clown. But this is Art the Clown's first movie, so I think Terrifier deserves a spot in the top 5 horror movies, especially making an impact on the horror community. Suspiria is on my list. I thought Suspiria was a great movie. It's not a dedicated remake, but like I said before, Ray, you weren't here. Suspiria covers the 3 mothers to the T. The performances are very entertaining and extremely enjoyable. The movie itself is a long movie, but it does not keep you bored. Summer of '84, I know some people don't think it's a horror movie. I love Summer of '84. I thought it had a great synthwave, retro wave soundtrack. And, especially from filmmakers that made movies such as Turbo Kid, it was great to see them make a horror movie that really sticks with you after the viewing. And, of course, number 1 movie of the year 2018 is Mandy. I thought that Mandy was a fantastic movie. The first hour of the movie is just building up to the second hour, which is Nicolas Cage searching for the Declaration of Independence inside the human hearts of every enemy he encounters. So it's a very violent movie. It's a sad movie. The soundtrack is incredible. The movie is shot into like a 3-bit film strip, kind of like the way that Suspiria was shot. You got the red, you got the green, and the blue. Nicolas Cage goes full California Klaus Kinski in it, which you have seen in Vampire's Kiss, and a little bit of him as Castor Troy in Face Off. He goes full Nicolas Cage, batshit crazy with an arsenal of murder weapons and one-liners. And of course, there's Cheddar Goblin, who was my favorite part of the movie. He's a little goblin who throws up mac and cheese on children. But he's in there for a little bit. And it's a wild ride. I thought Mandy was the best horror movie of 2018. That being said, movies that I still want to check out, and we'll go loop around you guys. The movies of 2018 that I have not seen that I want to see. One of them was mentioned earlier by Joe Ridgely. He talked about, or not Joe Ridgely. I do want to see Death House, but what was it? The one movie with the Jared. I think you mentioned it. They're at a rave and then they start getting killed off. And there's
Hellfest.
Bloodfest.
Bloodfest. I want to see Bloodfest. Shit.
Yeah,
the worst movie of. I knew I was
not to be confused with Blumhouse's Hellfest.
So the worst movie of 2018 is Day of the Dead: Bloodlines. I forgot about that movie.
Myself to watch it.
It is the worst fucking movie. It's worse than the 2008 remake of Day of the Dead.
Let's not say things we can't take back, Brian.
Really? Worse than that?
It's a shitload worse than that. It's awful. It's almost unwatchable.
What about Day of the Dead Contagion? Worse than that?
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Day of the Dead Contagion has a little bit of heart compared to this trash. But the movies I want to see in 2018, and we'll roll over. I want to see A Quiet Place. I haven't seen it yet. Climax, the Gaspar Noé film about people who are entering a contest, and the drinks get they go to a dance contest with their peers, and drinks are spiked with hallucinogenic psychedelic drugs, and they have to keep dancing or else they'll die. And the winner gets this prize, and it's by the same guy who directed Enter the Void. So I'll check that out when it comes out. That's called Climax. We have The Domestics. I wanted to kind of check that out too, about a family being hunted by a small town of people who go on a hunt every year, which is familiar to a movie that came out last year. Forget the name of that movie, but it was good. I want to see The House That Jack Built. That is who's the director? Lars von Trier. He director of Melancholy,
Antichrist.
It's getting reviews that The House That Jack Built is making people throw up and leave the theater. Now, last time I heard a movie do that was Netflix's Veronica, so I have high hopes for this one. And
with Von Trier's movies, I'd actually possibly believe it, because Antichrist was fucked up.
Yeah, I love Lars von Trier. Antichrist is fucked up. Melancholia, the best parts of that movie was the first 10 minutes and the last 15.
House That Jack Built is a good Metallica song too, by the way.
I wonder if they use that in the movie. Knowing it's Lars von Trier, he probably has it playing throughout the entire movie. I want to see the first Purge. I have not seen that. I want to see Upgrade because Mike Lombardo talks highly about it, and every movie that Mike Lombardo talks about, I want to see. And that's just going from the list that I pulled out. I do not want to see Possession of Hannah Grace or Unfriended the Dark Web, and Hellraiser Judgment maybe one day. What movies would you guys like to see before this year is over that has been released?
Revenge.
Revenge is good.
Yeah,
Shudder.
It's on Shudder. It actually popped up right after I watched Mandy. It looks really, really kick ass.
Put it in my top 10 of my French horror films list.
Yeah,
but I didn't do a review for it.
I thought you did.
No, I didn't. I was going to, but I never got around to it.
Regardless of what Mike says, I want to check out the Meg just because the first Purge, because Mike may not like it, or I might like it. Just like anybody's, everybody's got opinions.
Well, yeah, the thing is, everyone's tastes are different. They're just wrong.
Yeah, and I want to see Overlord too, even though Mike didn't like it. But yeah, Mike, you're right. I'm probably wrong for liking it, but I really, really enjoyed this movie. I know you hate that I like it, but
there's no accounting for taste, right? I mean, I get it. Like, I know why you might like it, but I mean, the director's really hot, but
yeah, I mean, I really enjoy seeing. Actually, to plug this, I've watched the behind the scenes thing twice now, Mike.
Oh wow, really?
Well, yeah, just because you bend over a lot, and
I do.
I actually have watched it twice. So, yeah, that's about it for me. I mean, it's just a few things I haven't seen. Revenge is next up on my plate, so to speak, because that's on Shudder. I will say one thing I found this year. It's been out since I think 2016. It's a show. It's called Channel Zero. It's a sci-fi show, and there's 4 seasons now. And I've watched the first 2 and absolutely loved them. And season 1, 2, and 3 are on Shudder, and 4 I have sitting on my DVR. I discovered it this year, but it's from I think 2016. It's a good show. So it's an anthology show, so each season is different. And they're only 6 episodes apiece. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to check out that show too, and I thought that Haunting of Hill House was a great show this year to come out. That just
that's next on my chopping block.
Oh, you're in for a surprise, my friend.
Oh yeah, forgot about Castle Rock if we're talking about TV shows.
Yeah, that's another good show. There's some good horror shows this year too. I think we're getting to see a lot more horror themed television shows coming.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah. So what's next?
Oh, do you guys talk about what movies you want to see in 2018 that you haven't seen yet?
I already did.
Despite Mike's avid warning, I will definitely purchase Predator just because the collector in me has to do so.
Me too. It comes out Tuesday, Jared. So
I know.
I hate a lot of movies. I say it a lot. You know, I would watch Overlord and The Meg back to back twice before I'd sit through The Predator again.
Really?
That movie was one of the worst movies I've seen in the last fucking decade. It was so bad. It was unreal. It plays off as like a screwball comedy for like an hour randomly, and then it's just a fucking disaster. It really is. It was worse than Alien Covenant and Prometheus.
Ooh, wow.
It was way worse.
I actually like Prometheus. Alien Covenant, meh.
I still haven't watched Alien Covenant.
Don't.
Don't.
Don't. I mean, it's worth a watch, but I mean,
I have 6 copies of it, so I got to watch one of them. That's not true.
It's only 5.
It's only 5.
I wipe my ass with the other one.
It's 2. I have the Blu-ray and then the digital, of course.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else that I just have to watch. I mean, Suspiria doesn't come out on Blu-ray till January.
There's still things from the last few years I want to watch. A couple indie movies that I still want to watch, like She Kills. I want to check that out still.
I want to see The Batman by Scott Shermer and Brian Williams. That looks really cool.
What is it called?
The Batman. The guys that made
This?
Yeah.
That's on my list. I was just looking for this when you said it. Yeah, I need to watch this too. I actually support the Kickstarter. This is number 66 of 450.
Yeah, I heard really good things about that.
I have too. That's holy shit. They put a condom in there.
Yep, good boys rep it.
Did you get in on this too, Mike?
You gotta put on a helmet before you go into battle.
I was broke. I'm always broke. I feel bad. I want to. I think 3 or 4 Kickstarters this year, but that's it. Like, I really want to put more money in to help other filmmakers. I don't have any money. I'm so fucking fucked from festivals. But hopefully that'll change next year.
You need to make that Lex Quinn money.
Well, yeah.
So I'll tell you what's going to happen is we're going to start getting more people donating money to us, but we need you to wear a towel. Not Lex Quinn. They want to see you in a towel.
I can totally do that. I've got this really cute shark towel. I think people really like it.
Wonderful. All right. Did Brian pass out?
Live, everybody. Anybody on Facebook commenting or anything?
The endless. Somebody said that's the last thing after Mike said Lex Quinn in a towel.
Do we have anybody watching?
Yeah, about 5 people.
Okay. Hi, guys. If anybody has anything out there, any opinions before we wrap this shit up about 2018.
Well, should we when are we coming back?
Middle of January, probably. I do want to mention a couple favorite moments of the year for me. They are horror related. Getting to meet Jared and Morgan in person at Horror Hound was probably my favorite moment of the year, horror related, because of course I have kids and I have to say my kids did something great, of course. No, but and yeah, that was going to Horror Hound in what was that? It was August, right? In
Yes.
August. Jared and I ate at this very fancy restaurant, and it wasn't fancy. Jared ate like 3 pounds of brisket.
Oh my god!
Morgan took pictures for us, and it was nice meeting Morgan in person. Super awkward. No, but it was fun. I hope we can get a bigger group together for the next Horror Hound or Days of the Dead or something like that. I thought that was awesome. That was a big highlight of my 2018 for sure.
I'd have to agree with that because I mean it felt like we had never actually met before, but like when we got together, it was like, hey, like always.
It was like butter.
It was like smooth.
I actually felt the ground shake
greasy.
the moment you embraced for the first time.
Oh, and it was an embrace. I went to shake his hand. He gave me a hug, and our penis may have touched. Who knows? But no, it was cool because the ride up wasn't awkward. The ride back, we had a good time, rocking out to some music, and I think the most awkward was when we met Morgan. So,
I'm imagining when you two embrace like what you said your penises might have touched. I'm imagining the arm wrestling in the Predator. That's like what I'm picturing right now.
That's exactly what it was, except for it was actually Arnold and Carl Weathers. They like popped in place when me and Jared embraced. It was. I looked at he gets out of his car. I was like, Jared, you son of a bitch.
They just wrapped around each other.
Okay.
We had some fun. There's a town a little north of here called sorry. No, you're asking. I thought you're saying I was too loud. Yeah. Anyway, St. Elmo's. So me and Jared listened to the St. Elmo's Fire song over and over. Yeah, it was Man in Motion.
I'm the man in motion.
And I came to the realization that the guy wrote the song and sang the song and played it before they wanted to put St. Elmo's Fire into the song. Listen to it again, and you'll see he just tosses that in there. Just listen to it. We'll listen to it together after the show's over. So, anyway, I'm done.
Well, this was a fun year. I mean, I'm glad that we had a pretty great season. I hope that we continue to bring on more guests and continue covering indie horror movies as well as mainstream movies. It was a pleasure, having you guys talk horror with me, and we're ending this year on a good note. We had some great shows, and we're just going to continue to have some great reviews and great videos, great giveaways, and if you guys are ready to wrap this up, I'm ready too.
I think we went from somewhere in the mid 6,000s to over 11,000 Facebook followers this year too. So it's been a good year for the Horror Syndicate, a big year of growth, which pleases me greatly. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for following the page and being a part of our brackets and giveaways and stuff. Thanks to Mike and Jared for offering up some Blu-rays to give away, and Frankie at Barlow's Boutique for donating a couple Jason masks for a giveaway, which I'd like to do one of those again. And thank you guys for bringing the show to life.
Thank you for having me.
You go to hell, Mike, okay? You're the one who got me to watch that god-awful movie, The Boneyard, and I love it.
Right.
There it is. The truth comes out.
All right.
I
Well,
almost bought the DVD today. And I already own it. Go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. Join us next year, everybody, where we will bring more Horror Syndicate to you, and we'll have a lot more
Boneyard
content and Boneyards to show you. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook at Brian Enright. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at The Horror Jew. Up next, Jared, where can we find you, my friend?
You guys can find me on Facebook at Jared Laterno or follow me on Twitter at @zombie_survivor. Thanks, Syndicate, and we'll see you next year.
All right. Thank you very much, Jared. Up next, award-winning director of I'm Dreaming of White Doomsday, Mike Lombardo. Where can we find you, man?
You can find me at realsplatter.com, facebook.com/realsplatter. Tomorrow from 12 to 3 p.m. at the comic book store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'll be doing a signing with Brian Keene.
Awesome.
And you can find me at screamteamreleasing.com where you can buy White Doomsday. Also, Harrisburg next weekend, we have a screening at the Harrisburg Improv Theater in Pennsylvania. And if you live in New York, Merrick, New York on December 29th, the Long Island, we're doing a screening of Doomsday, and I'll be there kissing hands and shaking babies. So I got a big month ahead of me. But it's been a great year. I'm really happy you guys let me come on and slum around with you boys and talk about Blu-rays and weird dick jokes. And it's been a great time. Looking forward to next year. And thank you everyone out there that listened to me shit talk a lot of movies. And yeah. Then listen to me about plugging Doomsday.
There may be more shit talking to come, apparently, is what he's saying.
Sounds like it.
All right, and of course, our president of the Horror Syndicate, the man himself, Razor. Ray, where can we find you, man? You
can find me in St. Louis rolling on dubs. No, you can find me on Instagram, Razor33, Twitter, Razor_33, or on Facebook, or now with Unparalleled Comics. So thanks again for a great 2018.
All right, awesome. And everyone have a great night and keep horror alive, my friends. Have a good one.
Holy